Diary of a Dark Dragon, the bond between a human and a dragon. Kids' Adventure Stories. Written by Jeff Child. Narrated by John H. Feskins. Introduction. This is the story of a dragon, but not just any dragon, an acid-spitting black and purple dark dragon. It's about a dragon who lost his eggs and is looking for a way to retrieve them. Along the way, he defeats vicious enemies and gets in touch with another mysterious creature, a human. The humans are strange to him, but after finding out more about them, he discovers just how interesting they can be. Quickly keep going and get into the story of a dragon and his companion, a mere boy who is trying to prove his courage. Chapter 1. The Eggs Are Lost. My name is Draco. I am a dragon. Each day I fly through the air, soaring above the clouds and looking down on the earth beneath me. Whoosh! I flap my wings, snarl, growl, and land on the ground, seeking to devour my next prey. I hunt for rabbits, frogs, cats, and tiny birds, all of which make a delicious meal for my taste buds. Sometimes a fish, but that's when I feel like it. It's more of an exception. But I got lost. Not just me, but something precious to me. I lost my eggs. I had 3 of them, and somebody or something snatched them away. I have a nest high on the mountaintop, on the steep side of the mountain, the rocky surface that no one dares to climb. This is why it's such a mystery to me who took my eggs. Did they just fall down? I don't think so. I checked everywhere at the bottom of the gorge. There was nothing. I am frustrated, I am angry, and I am flying through these territories to find out where my eggs are. Whoever took them is going to pay. So there you go. This is my mission. I am searching for them, those black and purple things that have cost me so much time so far. I recently found myself searching the highlands of the region, a snowy area with numerous pine trees as far as the eye could see. It was breathtaking, but also very, very cold. I don't like the cold, but I had a feeling that I hadn't been there yet, and since I had searched everywhere else, it made sense to me to check this particular part of the land out. The ice-cold wind blew in my face as I sped through the air, hoping for a sign of my beloved eggs. Then I saw movement. I didn't know what it was yet, but I was going to find out soon. Without thinking, I descended to the tiny dots I saw moving in front of me. They were wolves. They were running after a deer, which was trying to escape their pack, and since I was dying to learn where my eggs went, I was going to crash this little party and make them work harder for their food. Chapter 2. Dragon Acid. The deer was running for its life. It knew that if it would even slow down the slightest bit, it would be captured and eaten by the raging pack. The wolves made hungry sounds and sprinted after the poor prey. But then I arrived. I landed on the ground in front of the deer and grabbed it with my claws, snatching it away before the wolves could get to it. I was 10 times bigger, so the deer easily fit in my hand. I wasn't choking it, just holding it. The wolves stopped. They were startled. Just imagine what they were thinking. I mean, suddenly a giant black dragon stood in front of them and took their meal away. They were all standing around me in a circle when one of them stepped forward and stood firmly in the deep snow, demanding that I would give the deer back. And why would I asked. I am looking for something too. Give me what I need and I will give you your dinner back. What is it that you need? The wolf asked. I want my eggs. There are 3 eggs and I know somebody took them. You didn't happen to see them, did you? We know nothing about those. Now give us our prey back. We saw it first. Hold on a minute. Are you sure you haven't seen the eggs? Do you have any clue where they might be? Do you know of anyone who would steal eggs like that? You are getting on my nerves, the wolf said. Look at us, dragon. There are at least 50 of us. We are hungry and you're stalling. Give us the deer back or we will be forced to attack you and kill you." I laughed for a second. Then I stopped laughing and looked at them with squinted eyes. "Go ahead and try," I said. One of the wolves leaped forward and landed on my back. The fight had begun. One dragon against 50 wolves. Not fair if you ask me. To them. I flew up and shook the wolf off from on high. The wolf fell down and hit a tree. One down, 49 more to go. Some wolves were climbing a few trees and tried to jump on me as I flew away, but they missed. I flew around my enemies in circles and picked up a couple of wolves, after which I threw them down a nearby cliff. The wolves yelped in fear. How many more? I lost count. I was surprised that they even kept trying to get me. I could fly and they couldn't, no matter how many there were of them. I descended and landed on the ground. "Does this look fair to you?" I asked. "Bring it on, puppies." One by one they attacked me. I defended myself and grabbed a few of them, throwing them against tree trunks or bashing them on the snow. One of them got scratched heavily by my sharp claws, something that they did in return. I have to admit, I was a little damaged by the ones that jumped on me and scratched my perfect black skin with their nails. Others were biting me in the process, while I was making an attempt to get them off me. I wasn't really losing, but I still felt like I could do better. This wasn't going too well. Now there were about 20 wolves on my shoulders and on my back. One wolf was biting my wings. Ouch! Another wolf was chewing on my leg. I had it. I switched to secret superpowers. "That's it!" I yelled. My eyes started glowing with a purple flame, and my mouth radiated purple and white light. I breathed in, pulled back my shoulders, and spat. Purple acid came out of my mouth and touched some of the wolves' skins, sizzling in their flesh. "Oh, oh, oh!" the wolves yelped. "Do you want more?" I asked. They didn't seem to listen. Another spitball made out of purple acid left my mouth, burning their skin after hitting it. 10 more wolves had left the scene, being wounded and afraid of my supernatural strength and mysterious might. There were only a few left. I breathed in and pretended to form another spitball. They looked at me, knowing what would happen if they kept attacking me. They flinched and then ran away. Meanwhile, I still had the deer in my hand. It had big eyes. It was terrified. "Don't worry," I said as I put it down. "I don't eat deer. And as you could tell, I don't eat wolves either. But one thing I want to know, do you have any ideas for finding my eggs?" "I don't," the deer admitted. "But I am sure you can check with the humans." "The humans?" "Yes, they are very well educated. They know about a lot of things. They have maps, books, different professions, and so on. They are always eager to learn, and I am certain that they already studied all kinds of facts about eggs." "Thanks for the tip," I said. "Hold on," the deer said. "Could you do me a favor and drop me off on the other side of the mountain? If you leave me here, the wolves may come back and devour me anyway." "No problem," I said, as I picked the deer up and flew off towards the mountain. Chapter 3. People. So that's what happened, and this is why I am now flying towards a human village in the mountains. After some time of looking for it, I see the village. I recognize it immediately. These humans are one of a kind. Their species builds houses with roofs in the shape of some sort of triangle. They have windows made of glass, strange objects, and they put clothes on their bodies. Weird. I see one with long hair. It is a woman, I know that much. I notice she is gathering wood from a big pile next to one of their homes. Then I see another one. I'm guessing it's a man, since that one has short hair. Since one of them comes out of their houses every 5 minutes or so, I am just deciding I am going to stop circling around the village and land on a rooftop. Hey, what's that? There is a human who looks like he is sneaking out of the village. What is he up to? I have to find out. So I follow him and hold off until I see what he is doing. He keeps walking, and he looks around as if he is searching for something. Does he know where my eggs are? It seems too good to be true. I can't wait any longer, so I fly down and land right in front of him. "Whoa," he says with a terrified look on his face. "Stay away or I will have to hurt you." "Please," I say. "I know you can't do anything to me. I am 10 times bigger. What are you going to do, tickle me to death?" I am very dangerous too," he says. "But if you mean no harm, then I will just get out of your way and leave you alone." "Actually," I say, "I have a question for you. What are you looking for?" He doesn't want to say it. I can see it in his eyes. He turns away from me and looks at the floor, not saying a word. "Well," I insist, "don't tell me you aren't looking for something. I could tell by the way you wandered through the woods." "I am looking for a dead body," he says. "Why?" "The villagers want me to prove my courage by defeating an evil creature. They say I am a coward, and since I am not brave enough to actually defeat such a creature, I am just trying to find a monster or something in the woods that has already died. This way I can take it home and show them." "But that's lying," I say. "Don't you want to do some real act of bravery?" "That's easy for you to say," he says. "You are big and scary. You can kill anything. Tell me something, dragon. Do you have any problems whatsoever?" "As a matter of fact, I do," I say. "I just lost my 3 eggs, and I have been looking all over the place for them. I just killed a pack of wolves that wouldn't tell me where to find them, and I have been flying for hours. So yes, my life isn't always easy either, human." "My name is Ron," he says. "What is your name?" "Draco," I say. "But anyway, do you know anything about dragon eggs?" "Not much," Ron says. "But if you think somebody stole them, I think I know where to look." "Where?" I ask impatiently. "Well, how about this?" he says. "If you help me fool the villagers, I will help you find those eggs." "Oh, you little," I say in anger. "I should pick you up right now and throw you off the cliff. Just tell me where I can find those eggs." "If you kill me, you will never find out. Now, do we have a deal or not?" "Fine," I say, "but I don't have to like it." "You don't, but that's okay because it's a great bargain. We both get what we want, right?" I hate him, for now, but maybe I will dislike him a little less when he gets me my eggs back. Chapter 4. The Agreement. "So what do you want me to do?" I ask. "It's simple," Ron says. "All we have to do is make the villagers believe that I killed you. You don't really have to die, but just pretend." "Sounds easy enough," I say. "Let's do it. And after that, you better help me get to those eggs." "Don't worry. After studying all the creatures in this world, I have learned quite a bit about which ones have a tendency to steal eggs and where to find them. Everything will be okay." Together, we devise a plan and wait until the evening falls. It has to be dark, or people in the village will be able to see through our scam. After discussing what we will do, Ron runs back to the village and awaits my arrival. It's dark. It's my turn to perform, to put up a show. I fly towards the village and land in front of a small barn that they have for food storage. The village looks deserted, but it just seems that way because all the inhabitants are inside. They are warming themselves by the fire, protecting themselves against the chilling winds and the cold, snowy winter season. "Okay, here I go," I say. As soon as I say it, I start hitting the tiny barn with my claws, scratching the surface and breaking a few boards on the side. The noise alerts the villagers in their homes. I really lay it on thick, making sure that half of the barn is broken and some of the food falls into the snow. "Dragon! Dragon! Watch out! There is a dragon!" the villagers shout. Ron comes out of his home. He knew I would be there. "Just let me handle this," he says, shoving a few villagers aside. He grabs his bow and arrow and starts shooting arrows at me while I ascend, flying in circles above the village. He makes sure not to hit me, or I will come after him. He knows that. After a few misses, I pretend to get hit. "Ah!" I growl, as if I got hurt by an arrow. Then I fall to the ground, somewhere in the woods, so that the villagers won't see me. The other villagers are happy. They cheer for their hero Ron and carry him on their shoulders. Never again will they call him a coward. But something goes wrong. I thought that nobody noticed me, but that isn't all the way true. Here I am, sitting in the forest on a patch of snow, when a teenage boy from the village sneaks out of town and observes me thoroughly. He looks at me with big eyes. I didn't see him at first, but when I do, it's too late. He puts his hand in front of his open mouth, completely surprised by what he is seeing. "The dragon is still alive!" he yells as he runs back to the village. Little brat, why did he have to sneak up on me like that? Now our whole plan failed. Thanks a lot. "It is still alive! Ron didn't kill it!" he tells the villagers when he gets to them. "What? What's going on here?" "I just saw the dragon in the forest. He isn't even hurt. The arrow missed him, I am sure of it." Everybody looks at Ron. "Seriously?" he asks. "Are you accusing me of conspiring with a dragon to deceive you? You've got to be kidding me." "We aren't accusing you of anything," a woman says. "But then again, we can't be certain whether you're honest or not." "You still haven't proven anything," one of the men says, "and until you do, you will still be considered a coward." "But I shot the dragon," Ron insists. "You saw it. It dropped like a brick from the sky. Just because we haven't found its corpse doesn't mean that I am lying. How do you know for certain that this kid is telling the truth?" "Listen, Ron," the man says. "Bring us the dead body of a creature, a real one. Then we will know that you did it, and only then will we trust you and stop calling you a coward." "Fine," Ron says. "I will leave, but you better feel guilty if you find my dead frozen body somewhere in the wilderness. Then you'll know that you sent me out there to be devoured by wolves and black dragons." With that, he leaves the village. Chapter 5. Danger. Ron arrives at the spot I am hiding. We look at each other with disappointed faces. "Come on," I say. "It's not safe for you to be seen with me. Climb on my back, and I will fly you out of here. We'll go to that place where you said my eggs could be." "Okay," he sighs. He hops on, and I tell him to hold on tightly. Together we will fly away. "It's freezing up here," he says. "Of course it is, silly. It's winter, and up here, the air is even colder. So where are we going, anyway?" "To the lava cave," he says. "The what?" "It's called the lava cave. It's an underworld beneath the soil with hellish fires and toxic lava streams." "Sounds lovely," I say sarcastically. "So what makes you think my eggs are there?" "I've read books about it," Ron answers. "There are zombies, minotaurs, skeletons, and other monsters there. Something mentioned the minotaur's utmost interest in eggs. So if anyone stole your eggs, it should be them." "Makes sense," I say. "Point me where to go, and we'll get there soon." "I think the entrance is beyond those hills in the far distance. I've never been there, but that's what the book mentioned. Beyond the rock that looks like a claw." "Oh, I know where that is," I say. "I have flown past that rock already. I just didn't know what was out there." After some time, we reach the rock. "Now where to?" I say. "Over there," he answers. "That must be the entrance." The entrance looks spooky, with spiky rocks and eerie shapes decorating the outsides. Inside there is a glimmering light, probably from the lava. It looks like one of those places I would rather avoid, but it doesn't look like I have a choice this time. "After you," I say. "What? No, thanks, you go first," he says. "Oh, come on, you still have your bow and arrows, don't you? Then just go first. I will be right behind you. Show me you can be a real hero." It took a while, but I convinced him. He is going first, pointing his bow and arrow in front of him, jumping up every time he hears the slightest noise echoing through the hot caves. The lava doesn't make me feel comfortable. It's like it is a constant flow of evil, an abominable fuel for the living dead and other abhorrent monstrosities. A repulsive odor emanates from the lava fumes, causing us to nearly choke each time we breathe too deeply. Despite the fact that I am a scary, dark dragon, I hate this place, and I will be happy when we can get out of here. Whoosh! I feel something speeding through the air above my head. I look back. It's a fireball. I look in front of me. Some kind of yellow fire creature is standing there, laughing and getting ready to shoot another fireball at me. What is that? I ask. Oh, that's a blaze, Ron says. You better watch out. They shoot tons of fireballs. If you get hit, it can severely wound you. Get down. Right after he says it, another fireball comes at us with raging speed. I duck just in time. It misses us. Annoying piece of garbage, I complain. I breathe in, gather the slime in my throat, aim, and splash! I spit some purple acid on the blaze's face. With a creepy screech, the blaze disappears, back into the lava. That was that, I said. Really cool, Ron admits. I wish I could do that. Well, I wish I could shoot an arrow, but each has his own talents, right? I answered. We travel for another hour through the depths of the gloomy lava cave. Each time we hear a flame emerge from the lava, we turn our heads and the adrenaline flows through our blood, causing us to be more alert and aware of our surroundings. Ron tells me minotaurs like to steal eggs as trophies, to show that they defeated them. They don't do anything with them, but they just collect them and put them away. Well, I am going to find out where the filthy minotaur is that stole my eggs. This has to end. Now. Then I see it. Is that one of them? I ask. I can't tell, but why don't we go closer? And so we do. Yes, it's a minotaur. It walks awkwardly and snarls at me and Ron. If that is the little bugger who took my eggs... Hey, you! I yell. The minotaur turns around and looks straight at us. Uh-oh, it says. I am sure that must have meant something. Why is it afraid of us? It must be hiding something. As I am contemplating these questions, I watch the minotaur run away in the other direction. It recognizes you, Ron says. Let's go after it. I'm sure that this is the minotaur that stole your eggs. Why else would he run? You're right, I say. Hop on. Ron jumps on my back and we fly towards the minotaur, which just disappeared in a hole in the ground. We stop next to the hole and Ron gets off. That's too narrow for me, I say. Looks like you're on your own, buddy. Ron crawl chases after the minotaur by crawling through the tiny space with his bow and arrows on his back. The crawl space becomes bigger as he goes, and eventually he is able to stand up again. The dusky environment doesn't exactly put Ron at ease. Sneaking through the dark pathways of the minotaur's home, he keeps his eyes open for any sudden movements. He grabs his bow and one arrow, holding them in front of him to react to the minotaur's possible attacks. Roar! The minotaur screams while assaulting Ron. Ron is startled. He turns sideways and shoots an arrow at the minotaur. Missed. The minotaur has knocked him over. Now he is lying on the floor, waiting for another attack from the vile monster. Roar! Another attack from the evil minotaur comes his way. But this time, Ron deflects the minotaur's arm and stabs its heart with his arrow. Roar! The minotaur screams in agony. Dead. Ron pants heavily. He looks at the dead minotaur's corpse next to him. Wow! He actually killed a dangerous creature. Wait until he shows the villagers what he did. Chapter 6. The Eggs. Ron exits the minotaur's hole by pushing its body through the narrow space in front of him. I look surprised when I see a dead minotaur come out of the hole before I see my friend. Wow, what happened? I ask. I killed the minotaur. Can we take its body so I can show the villagers that I am brave? Of course, I say. Did you happen to find any eggs by chance? I haven't looked yet, but I will. Give me a few minutes, okay? I put the minotaur's body on my back and watch Ron crawl back into the hole. He really did it this time, and I am proud of him. Not too long after that, I am happy to see a few eggs roll out of the hole. Ron is pushing them, just like he did with the minotaur's corpse. 1, 2, 3. Yes, they are all there. Ron has found my eggs. His smiling face pops out of the hole. Not bad, is it? He says. I found them lying between some other items the Minotaur has stolen. I also got this great golden pearl and a diamond sword. See? I am impressed. He has pulled it off. Chapter 7. Saying Farewell. There is nothing more for us to do, so we leave, trailing back through the same caves we came in. As I fly out of that wretched place, I realize this little guy has saved me from an endless search. I never would have thought of looking in the lava cave. I didn't even know it existed, but that sleazy Minotaur stole my eggs, and it paid for it with its life. After a while, we arrive at the village. I don't go near it, but stay a mile or two outside the village, where I allow Ron to get off my back. This was good teamwork, I say. I killed the blaze, and when the hole was too narrow for me, you were able to crawl through it and kill the Minotaur. Thank you for getting my eggs back. Thanks for helping me find my courage, Ron says. I will go show this to the villagers. Minotaurs are extremely dangerous. They will be impressed. Besides, it is my arrow in its heart, and they will recognize that. Sounds like you have it all under control. Farewell, my friend. Farewell, Draco, he says. I watch him drag the Minotaur to the village for a few seconds. With the eggs in my hands, I decide to fly away. I fly home. Finally, home with the eggs. The end. Dragon Book for Kids, Diary of a Friendly Dragon, Adventure Stories for Kids. Written by Jeff Child. Narrated by John H. Feskins. Introduction. The dragons and humans hate each other, but not for long. Fafnir the dragon finds two innocent children who change his mindset, and everyone else's, about humans. They become best friends and team up against their greatest enemy, zombies. Listen to the friendship between a dragon and two kids, and the way they mend the two societies together by their playfulness and sincerity. Chapter 1. Fighting. The humans and dragons have been fighting for years. Ever since the first human being discovered our nests, we have been defending our offspring as hard as we could. But I wanted change. This couldn't go on for much longer, and I suspected a good side in the humans. My name is Fafnir. I am a green dragon, and I know how to spit fire. I live with other dragons in a big cave, where we have all kinds of dragons with dragon nests. It's a fun place if you're a dragon, but for humans, well, let's just say that until recently they didn't want to go there. So this is the story of how we united. You might have heard stories like this before, but I can assure you that this one is different. You see, I am a dragon. A dragon! I am telling you a story from a dragon's perspective. Where will you ever find a record like that? So you should count yourself lucky to have bumped into this diary, where you will find the truth, the real truth about what happened. The humans had stolen some of the fish in the sea, something we love to eat. And they had chased away the birds in the area, again, something we love to eat as well. So some of my dragon leaders were angry. Let's attack them, Groduk said, the main dragon leader in our group. They always steal our food or disturb the circle of life. Do these humans even know what they're doing to nature? They're insane. Groduk had grown up to hate humans. His father had had a confrontation with one of them and had been injured. Now the enormous green dragon, Groduk, was out for revenge, and he wouldn't let any opportunity slip to attack these filthy creatures, or so he called them. Nobody contradicted him. I wasn't too pleased with it, since I rather avoided confrontations like that. Don't worry, I was brave. I was always the one who would blow fire at monsters and have air fights with evil creatures. I was definitely an aggressive, mean... Well, I had heart, let's put it that way. But the humans, I always sensed something better in them, so I never liked the raids Groduk organized. Nevertheless, I couldn't do anything against it. We went, and I accompanied the other dragons. I wasn't going to fight hard, but I was going to be observant in one way or another. That was my plan. We flew towards the city. It was a huge city. There were thousands of people, so in my eyes, the raid was going to be a failure anyway, but Groduk insisted. He led the way to the city. "Alarm!" a man from the city yelled when he saw us, the dragons, fly over their metropolis. "Get them!" Groduk shouted. Some of the dragons began spitting fireballs at the citizens. Others were landing on rooftops and fighting off humans with diamond swords, wooden swords, and golden pickaxes. It was chaos. I flew over the scene, hoping to find something different, keeping myself away from all the battle scenes to preserve my skin. I noticed how some dragons were burning houses, and others were destroying yards and crops outside the city walls. I wasn't sure of what I was looking for, but for some reason, I just kept flying. And then I saw it. This was what I had been looking for. This was the reason I was suspicious. Chapter 2. The Innocent Ones. I saw a boy and a girl. They were playing. It was an innocent thing to observe. The boy was trying to build a sandcastle, but the sand kept sliding away because it was too dry. The girl was raking the sand and putting it into buckets. I didn't estimate the kids to be much older than 8 or 9 years old, and the depiction of the sweet children melted my heart a little, probably because they looked so cute. The boy handed the girl a bucket full of sand, and the girl gave him a kiss on his cheek. When the girl didn't look, the boy wiped it off with his hand, but smiled nonetheless. I just kept staring at them, since they were enjoying the simple things in life and had no clue what was going on around them in the city. Their backyard was somewhat secluded, and the walls protected them from the horrible happenings around them. Suddenly, this beautiful image was disturbed. As I sat there on the rooftop watching these two children, one of the dragons flew over them and noticed them. I wavered. The dragon went into a little circle and returned to the same spot, intending to injure these two kids. "No!" I yelled, but the dragon didn't listen, so I flew at him and punched him in the face. Boff! He fell backwards, crushing a rickety shed. He sniffed, he snorted, he huffed and puffed. He snuffled, well, you get it. There was a lot of air coming out of his nostrils, and in the meantime, while he recovered from his fall, I picked up the two children and took them away to a safer place. I didn't know where I was going. I just made sure I left the battle area. These children didn't have to get involved in all of that. I flew and flew, holding the children in my two claws, looking for a good place to land. After some time, I landed in the forest and put the kids down. "What are you doing?" the girl asked. "Why did you take us away from our home?" I understood the human language, but I couldn't speak it, not with the sounds coming out of my mouth. So I just stared at them, trying to look explanatory, which didn't really work. "Take us back," the girl commanded. I shook my head. "I am Novus," the boy said, "and this is Cilicia, my sister. What is your name?" Then I got an idea. I was just going to write in the sand. That way I could at least communicate some simple words to them. So I looked down, lifted my claw, and wrote, Fafnir. "I like that name," Cilicia said. "It's really nice." "Why did you take us here?" Novus asked. I wrote, "War." "What?" Novus said. "What war? What are you talking about? I didn't see anything." "Neither did I," Cilicia agreed. I wrote dragons versus humans in the sand, and they understood. "Ah," Novus said, "there have been more wars between dragons and humans, but we don't like them. Say, Fafnir, why haven't you heard us already? I mean, you're a dragon. Aren't we supposed to be enemies?" "No," was what I wrote in the sand. They looked puzzled, but they started to understand that not all dragons were so bad, and that humans and dragons could live in peace, if only they could become friends and forget about the past. Chapter 3. Friendship. The two kids in front of me were innocent. They were young, and they didn't care about the past. They had no bad intentions towards dragons, and I knew it. "Can we be friends?" Celicia asked. I nodded. "Yay!" she exclaimed. "Come on, show us what you can do." I waved my claw to instruct them to step back. Then I breathed in and spat fire. The flame from my mouth incinerated a nearby tree, and the two kids jumped up and down with joy. "What else can you do?" Novus asked. I extended my claws and whacked off a branch from a tree. "Nice," he said. "I wish I was that strong. Could you carry that tree over there, the one on the ground?" I nodded and flew to the tree that had fallen over somehow. I picked it up and chucked it away. They clapped and cheered. This was the best show they had seen in a long time. "Would it be safe to ride on your back?" Celicia asked. I'm afraid of heights," Novus said. I thought for a moment. I guessed it would be okay. They could hold on to my scales, and if they would fall off, I would be able to catch them in time. So I signaled for them to hop onto my back. "I can't wait," Celicia said while running towards me and hopping onto my back. "Come on, Novus," she said. "Let's ride the dragon." "Sorry, Fafnir," he said. "It's too scary." "What if I went first and then let you go afterwards?" Celicia suggested. "Okay," Novus said. "Then you can see that it's completely safe," she added. I took off. I flew high into the sky, and even went in circles a couple of times. "Whee!" Celicia cheered happily. "This is amazing!" I flew around the trees and over the lake. Then I came back to the spot where Novus was standing. He was still standing there, but he looked more confident when he saw I brought his sister back in one piece. "See," she said. "It's absolute fun. You have to try it." "Fine," he said. "It's not that I was really scared. I just don't like heights." "Sure," she said with a smile, a little skeptical, but still friendly. He hopped on and I flew up. I didn't go too fast at first, since I noticed that he was holding on for life. His face became pale. His eyes looked as if he was trying to take it all in without flinching, but then, suddenly, I saw a change. His facial expression was different. He had taken courage. He looked sharp and focused. "That's how you do it," I thought. "Good job, boy." I flew higher and higher and descended quickly, giving him the stomach-turning effect that is always so much fun when you go down fast. I could tell that he was enjoying it because he smiled. Then I landed. "Wow," he said. "What a ride!" "Can I go again?" Celicia asked. "Please, Fafnir, I want to go again." I nodded and allowed her on my back again. After a small period of time, it was his turn again. It continued this way all afternoon. At a certain moment, it dawned on me that I could have gone to the city to prevent the battle from happening, but it was too late anyway. It was too difficult. So I figured out another way to prevent future battles, by bringing these two children to the dragon cave. Would it work? I didn't know. And I was a little scared because I didn't want them to get hurt. But if I would stay with them, maybe I could make them see how friendly and harmless these humans could be. I crossed my fingers. My claws. Chapter 4. Convincing the Rest. After playing around and entertaining these two fantastic children for a while, I thought it was time to go home. I wrote on the ground with my claw, "Come with me." "Okay," they said without hesitating, which made me wonder where their parents were at. I also doubted if this was really the most responsible thing to do, but I did it anyway, promising myself that no harm would come to them. I picked them up and flew towards the dragon cave. Inconspicuously, I took the side entrance and hid them in my cave room. When I landed there, I put them down and wrote in the sand, "Stay here." "For how long?" Novus wanted to know. "Don't know," I wrote. Then I flew to the biggest cave room, the one where all the dragons usually gathered. Right after I came there, I saw the other dragons arrive, who had gone to the city. They were bragging about their accomplishments. "I burned an entire home," one of the dragons said. "The people weren't in it, but now they have to build a new one. Ha ha ha!" "Good work. I destroyed a building and I messed up the armory. You know, the place where they get their weapons."
"Excellent," Groduk said. "I knocked out a few of those annoying, filthy humans.
They will be in the hospital for days. That will teach them to eat our fish and birds." After listening to their stupid stories, I stepped forward and said, "I became friends with 2 humans." They all stopped talking. "What?" Groduk asked. "What did you say?" "I made friends," I said. "Those humans aren't so bad as you think." He came closer, almost as if he wanted to threaten me. "I think I heard it wrong. Or actually, I hope I heard it wrong. Did you just say you became friends with the humans?" "Yes, I did, and I'm proud of it," I said. "You know, perhaps if you were a little more open-minded, you would discover that they are just trying to live and eat themselves. They don't eat the fish and hunt for birds to pester us. They need those things to survive." "How dare you!" Groduk yelled. "They are evil. They are the ones who injured my father. You cannot trust them. Never." "Just because your father had a bad experience doesn't mean they are all bad," I said. One of the other dragons spoke up. "They fought back," he said. "Doesn't that prove anything?" "Just because we attacked them," I said. "If you don't do anything to them, they are inoffensive and happy. We can bring out the best by treating them as allies. Why wouldn't you want to try?" "Bring us proof," Groduk said. "If you can prove that they can be innocent, which I highly doubt, then we will consider your little peace treaty. But until then, they are still enemies." "Fine," I said. "Wait here." I expected that answer. I flew up, zigzagging through all the big cave tunnels and finding my own space. I landed next to Novus and Cilicia and signaled them to climb on my back. They obeyed without questioning me, and once they were on my back, I flew down again. "Whee!" Cilicia shouted. "This is fun!" However, when I landed in front of 30 other dragons, they became a little scared. I let them get off my back and stand on the cave floor. The giant dragons were all looking at us. "You see," I said, "they don't do anything to us. They are kind and playful." The 2 children looked up to my fellow dragons with big eyes. They didn't understand the dragon language, so they just kept staring without saying anything. The others were dumbfounded. They hadn't even considered the fact that humans could befriend dragons. "And if you don't believe me," I said, "then here is more proof." I put my claws in the sand and wrote, "Pet me." "Okay," Novus and Cilicia said, and they began to rub my back a little. After a few seconds and an awkward silence, the kids became more trusting. They saw that the other dragons wouldn't hurt them as long as I was with them, so Cilicia asked, "Can I ride one of the other dragons as well?" I looked at her. She was having the time of her life. No fear, nothing. She was completely comfortable with the dragons. Novus was watching the big claws of one of them with a curious face, intrigued by the size and shape of them. "Well," I asked, "can she ride one of you?" And then, at that moment, the one dragon I expected the most resistance from stepped forward and said, "Sure, she can ride on my back." It was Groduk. I was a little hesitant to allow it because maybe he would just let her drop or have other bad intentions. But as I looked him in the eyes, I saw humility in him, which I had never seen before. I pointed to him, and Cilicia understood what I meant. She ran towards Groduk and tried to climb on his back, but he was too tall, so he helped her up. Then they took off. Novus saw what was happening and asked me the same question. One of the other dragons volunteered, and before I knew it, they were up in the air, flying around and entertaining the children. I had succeeded. The trust had been established. They knew now, something that I had known all along, that there was more to these humans. We bonded with them, and the whole cave turned into a fun, wholesome area, where Novus and Cilicia were competing against each other, trying to race on their dragons and playing around with them. Now there was one more thing to do: convince the other humans to have the same attitude. Chapter 5. Team Up. Convincing the humans was easier than I thought it would be. You see, humans and dragons typically never killed each other. They destroyed each other's possessions, they wrecked each other's homes, and they knocked each other out during their fights, but there were few, if any, fatalities on each side. had there been any victims to lethal blows or assaults, then I think it would have been a lot harder for both parties to connect, but luckily this wasn't the case.
"This is unbelievable," Groduk said. "All this time I've had a completely twisted image of these beings. Thank you for opening my eyes, Fafnir."
"You're welcome," I said.
"So what now?"
Groduk asked. "We take them back," I said. "Just like that, we'll show the humans that we won't harm their children and that we are not here to kill them, just like we have always stayed away from that line."
"And the broken things? And the damage?"
"Repair them," I said. "Show them that we are willing to change direction." One of the dragons came closer and said, "I have a better idea." That same evening, we flew to the city, all 30 of us, but we took a little detour. We had another way of showing our respect towards them and our readiness to have a peace treaty. Before we entered the city, we went to the ocean. I was carrying Novus and Cilicia, who were thrilled to go on another joyride. They watched with me as the other dragons dove into the ocean, grabbed a bunch of fish, and came back up. Once they all had some fish in their claws, we continued to fly towards the city. Boff! We all landed on the ground on the city square. It wasn't very busy. Only a few people were on the streets. But when we arrived, they came a little closer, taking a peek at this strange phenomenon. The dragons laid out the fish in front of them, adding to the big pile that was being formed. When they were all done, there were probably around a few hundred fish there. Now the humans came even closer, and some of them called others to come forward. "Look at what these dragons gave us," a man shouted to his wife. "It's a pile of fish," a woman said happily. I put the 2 children down, and we watched the citizens of the city come. One by one, they slowly had the guts to approach us and take a fish home. Within 20 or 30 minutes, the city square was full of people. Each family took one big fish home, and eventually, Novus and Cilicia's parents arrived. "Kids!" the dad yelled. Their mother gave them a hug and cried a little. Mom, Cilicia said. "The dragon gave us a piggyback ride, and we saw him spit fire, and we talked to him, and they got fish for the people, and—" Her mother stopped her by putting her finger on her mouth. The father came to me and said, "I don't know what is going on here, but I am happy that you brought us our son and daughter back." He held up his hand, and I agreed to shake his hand. Then the 2 children ran at me and gave me a hug. This was the moment that convinced everyone else. They saw 2 children hugging a dragon. What more evidence could there be? Everyone trusted us, and the dragons were mingling with the people. Some of them were petting the dragons, and others were taking more fish home. It was a good day. Chapter 6: The Real Enemy. Everything seemed fine. All the people and dragons were having a good time. But we didn't know about the real enemy, the one lurking beneath the shadows, waiting to devour and destroy. That changed, however, when someone came running into the city square and shouted, "Zombies! We've spotted zombies in the borderlands! They are coming to the city!" "How many?" one of the humans asked. "Hundreds of them! Thousands, maybe! How should I know? I am just the messenger. The spies are still there. They don't see any route to escape without being seen, so they are still hiding. They sent me here to warn you." The city mayor came as well. He took the lead when he heard what was going on. "Thousands of zombies?" he said. "We aren't going to survive that. Even if we all defended the city, we would still lose a significant number of people. What are we going to do?" It was quiet. Nobody knew what to say. Then suddenly, a boy came to the mayor. "Mr. Mayor," he began. "Yes, what is it?" "My name is Novus, and I have an idea," the boy said. "Okay, let's hear it, young man," the mayor said. "Perhaps if we can let the dragons know that we need their help, they can take care of the zombies for us." "Ask the dragons for help?" the mayor asked. "That's preposterous. I've never heard of such a thing. Counselor?" "Yes, Mr. Mayor," the counselor said, who came late. "What is going on?" "This young boy tells us to ask the dragons for help. What do you think?" Well, it wouldn't hurt, would it? After all, they are bigger and stronger than we are." But they destroyed our homes, the mayor protested.
Mr. Mayor, I don't think we have a choice. It's quite a remarkable idea, if you don't mind me saying so.
Oh, all right, the mayor said. Let's ask the dragons. Do you speak the dragon language, Novus?
I know that at least one of them will understand me, he said.
Then he came to me and asked me if we could help. I translated what he said and told the other dragons. Groduk agreed immediately.
It's the least we can do,
he said. I think that of all the dragons, his attitude changed the most. It was pretty amazing. And then we all left the city, on our way to war against the zombies. Chapter 7. Preparing for a Burning. What are we going to do? I asked Groduk.
One of you will lure them to the forest on the east side. Those trees are very dry if you haven't noticed. Do you know what I mean?
Dry trees, I said. Dry trees. Oh yes, that's an excellent idea. Let's do it. But who will lure them into the forest?
We will burn them. Ha ha,
Groduk said, as he spat fire and leaned on a tower in the city. Groduk looked at me. What? Me? I tried to resist his stare, but then I finally said, Okay, I'll go. Where will you be when I get there?
On the big rock overlooking the forest. Now go.
I left and flew into the direction the messenger had pointed out. I flew and flew, not seeing any zombies, which became rather boring after a while. Then I saw it. I wondered how I had missed them before, seeing that there was a big group with, indeed, thousands of zombies. Wow, I said. I have never seen so many zombies in my life. Let's hope we can kill them all before they reach the city. I flew closer and landed in front of them. They moaned and bit with their mouths, gnashing and drooling. When they saw me, they started running, hoping to grab me. I quickly flew away, but I stayed low to the ground. I occasionally looked behind me, hoping they were still following me. They were. When I reached the forest, I signaled to the other dragons that the zombies had come. All the dragons flew down from the big rock and soared above the forest, and, according to plan, they spat fireballs at the trees. The zombies were all running in between the trees. It was a big barbecue, a zombie barbecue. The trees burned like crazy, and all the zombies in the forest were roasted, thousands of them, with the flames spreading like wildfire, incinerating every living thing in its way. We did it, Fafnir, we did it, some of the dragons shouted. We looked at the forest. Only one zombie came out alive. I signaled to Groduk, and he went after it.
I'll get him,
he shouted while flying after the zombie and spitting a fireball at the undead monster. Let's let the city people know, I suggested. We are done here. We flew back to the city, content with our achievement. When we arrived at the town square, we landed and saw the people gathering around us, looking curiously at what we had to report. Then I saw Celicia and Novus coming at me.
Are they dead?
Celicia asked. I nodded.
Are all the zombies really dead?
She asked again. I nodded again.
Wow, you're the best, Fafnir.
As she said it, she came closer and gave me a kiss on my neck. What a sweet girl. Such good people. Never again would we fight amongst each other, and when there were more zombies in the country, the humans knew where to find us. The end.